Hello out there. Happy Labor Day. It's been raining real bad out here, but we still got to get out and put the work in. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. I appreciate everybody that's been hitting me up, Instagram, DMing me. It's a lot of people, so if I ain't got to you yet, just know that I will. It's a lot of people. A lot of people tuning into this walk down. A lot of people like this walk down. A lot of people are interested in developing like running habits and trying to get the blueprint on how to go from 0 miles to running 4, 5, or even 6, or even your first mile every single day. A lot of people is interested. And, so just, I'm going to try to say as much as I can right here, because you could take this and apply it in whatever you got going on in your life. You could apply it in anything. Trumponomics 101, Life 101, how to go from 0 to 100 in 6 months with anything in life, with anything in life. So yeah, I ran my 4 miles and now I'm doing the walk down. Luckily, I didn't get wet. If you've been on this channel before, you know that I will run in the rain and I will run in the snow. So now, one thing, man, is you got to develop a habit, a daily habit. And you got to be focused, and a lot of times that's easier than done, like right now, right? As an example, I ran my 4 miles and it rained, so I waited for it to stop raining, and I came back to the house, and then I said, well, okay, let's go on and get this walk done out of the way. See, guys, the first thing you got to do, appreciate everybody for rocking with me. Appreciate you for joining me. Appreciate you. I already did the run. But this is what everybody's been waiting on. How to get started. You got to just make it up in your mind. Like I just just open up your door and just take off walking. I mean, you have to start with just a walk, just that, and just say, hey, I'm gonna walk for a whole hour, right? Find like a good podcast you like to listen to, music or whatever the case may be. Find what works for you. For me, appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. For me, listening to music didn't work. Well, what worked for you, Stock Sniper? What worked for me was clicking on going live and connecting with the people. Hit the like button for me, guys. Hit the like button for me. So this would work for me, because in the beginning process, you don't focus on, this is very important, this with anything in life, you don't focus on the numbers, like focusing on the mileage numbers as an example. You don't focus on the numbers. This goes with anything in life. You focus on training yourself to put the work in. You focus on training your mind, getting your steps down on whatever it might be. I don't care if you want to run 4 miles like me. I don't care if you want to walk an hour a day. You don't focus on the number. You focus on the work. You focus on training. Jesus loves you too. You focus on the training. Let me get over here. You focus on the training at hand. You focus on the work. You don't worry about the results in the beginning. That's what we gotta realize. You do not focus on results in the beginning. You don't. You put your time limit, like I say, transform your life in 6 months, as an example. Transform your life in 6 months, right? You focus on day-to-day goals and make sure you do it every single day. But a good component and a good tip is you have to find something that you love, that you love. Then it's much easier. You're not focused on the small things, right? And you got to realize, like, focusing on small accomplishments, that's not what you need to be focusing on. You need to be focusing on the love and mastering whatever you got going on. For an example, I had a goal to run a marathon, right? I had a goal to run my first marathon. I had a goal to run my first 5K, right? I focused on the 5K. I focused on the goal, and I didn't focus on a mile. I didn't focus on a half a mile. I didn't focus on a little bit of success. I didn't focus on that. I focused on the overall goal, which was to complete and be able to run the 5K as an example. That's what I focused on, right? So every single day I put in my mind that I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna go run, right? I'm gonna get out and go run, focusing on the act, focused on the love of what I'm trying to accomplish. Because see, I love running. I love walking. I love doing the walk down, right? I love competition, right? So that right there is what I focused on. I don't focus on the daily grind, right? You don't focus on the daily grind because that's when you allow negativity to come inside of your mind. That's when you allow negativity to come inside of your mind. And then you don't get overwhelmed about small success. For instance, if I never ran a mile before, then all of a sudden I'm running a mile. I'm not overexcited about just completing running a mile. I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on keep on putting the work in every single day to program my subconscious mind to keep going. That's what I'm focused on. Because for me, if I'm focused on small, poquito success, guess what? I'm going to think like in my subconscious mind, I'm going to think like I've accomplished something, which in all reality, I haven't accomplished anything, right? So transforming your life in 6 months takes a plan. You find something you love to do and you write your plan down. And guess what? Every single day you work on it. You put the work in, which is a earn. You spend less time on worrying about things that don't matter, which stands for spend less. You spend less time. See, that earn, spend less, and invest, guys, that applies to every single thing. And then you make investments. Investing is not always about money. It's not. Investing has something to do with relationships. Investing has something to do with the tools that you're using to accomplish the goal that you want to accomplish. For instance, I know I'm running in a marathon. So a good investment would be in some good, comfortable shoes, right? Yes, that is a good investment. Investment is also hanging around people that can help you and motivate you accomplish all the goals. Because guess what? It takes a community, it takes a collective of people to, listen to what I'm saying, come together to accomplish something. It takes, when you're trying to accomplish something, you can't, when you're trying to accomplish something on a major goal, you cannot do it by yourself. You need is what is called a support system, the right support system, because you could be around the wrong support system and they'll be hating on what you are doing, right? So you have to eliminate that. That is stuff you throw away in the trash. You focus on the earn, spend less, and make proper investments, right? For instance, when I started this earn, spend less journey, right, I had obstacles. I was worrying about the wrong thing. I wasn't worrying about what mattered. See, it like this 6-month process, this 6-month transformation is 5,000 hours. But you don't worry about 5,000 different things. You worry about 3, maybe 4 different things. In this instance, earn is one thing that you have to worry about. You have to worry about making your earn. And that goes with anything. That can go with working and making money. That could go with coming out here working. This is work too. This is an earn. What I'm doing right now, it's an earn. I'm not only trying to accomplish of a goal of getting myself ready for a marathon, I'm also working on my health, which is also an investment. I spend less time, earn. You can even use that as far as your job, your career, right? Earn, find something you love to do, and you master it, right? And then you spend less time on bullshit and bubble gum. You spend less time on spending money that you necessarily spend money on things that you necessarily don't need. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. A lot of people are loving this walk down. And guess what? I'm loving it too, because guess what, guys? It is a second workout, right? So number 3 is investing. You have to make proper investments in the things that you know, like, and trust, right? And also in the things that you need when it comes to the investing. Investing is a lot of different things, right? 5,000 hours, right? That's relatively 5 months. Yeah, somewhere around there. 5,000 hours. Somebody look it up for me. That's why I say you don't need to focus on 5,000 different things. All you need to focus on is on 3 or 4. And me, at my 52 years, this blueprint has been proven strategy, not only through my life, but also through my grandparents' life, my parents' life. It's a proven strategy. Focus on 3 to 4 things and focus on it every single day. Every single day. That's what you got to do. You got to make a earn. You got to spend less. And you got to make proper investments, right? You can use your imagination to know what those 3 things are, whatever applies to you. And then you do what? On number 4 is you repeat or you share it with other people and try to get other people to understand the process. Now, it's simple, but then it's hard at the same time. Let me say that again. It's simple, but then it's hard at the same time. It's hard to be disciplined, right? One of my worst mistakes, one of the worst things, and one of the hardest things for me was discipline. I knew all the information, right? Because if you don't know, my parents put an investing book in my hand at 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? My grandfather taught me about earn, spend less at a very early age. So I knew all the information. I had all the knowledge. But my problem was I was not putting the work in. What I'm talking about now is that what we supposed to be avoiding, which is the bullshit in the bubble gum. I didn't know I was mixed in because I was young. I was mixed in and I was attracted to the bullshit in the bubble gum. See, this is the thing about the mind, bro. This is the thing about the mind, guys. Okay, I talk about you have to find something you love to do. Sometimes you can have all the education. You can have all the information. You can even see all this stuff into action. Because I seen all this stuff that I talk about now, I seen all this stuff. The results. I knew what the results was. But I wasn't worrying about the results. Why? Because as I talk about all the time, you got to find something you love to do. I loved the bullshit in the bubble gum. Yes, I had all the information, right? But I didn't put my mind to focus on the love of I didn't focus on the love of putting the work in. I didn't focus on that, guys. I fell in love with the bullshit and the bubble gum. And see, guys, that be our biggest problem, bro. Our biggest problem, well, give me an example, Stock Sniper, of what some of the bullshit and the bubble gum that you fell in love with. Now, as I cross this road, I'm gonna give y'all some examples of what I fell in love with, which is the bullshit and the bubble gum. I fell in love with, I had to run a little bit. I fell in love with, as an example, smoking Black and Milds every day. I fell in love with smoking weed every single day, all day. I couldn't do nothing without a blunt, right? I fell in love with going to the club. I fell in love with going to the club 3 times a week. Yes, I went to the club damn near every single night when I was younger. Going to the club 3 times a week. Making sure I met Carol's who I just passed up walking. I made sure I was in Carol's every Wednesday. I made sure I was in Carol's every Friday. I made sure I was there every Sunday and Monday on ladies' night. Yes, I made sure that after Carol's, we went to the strip club. Because guess what? That's what I was addicted to. That's what I was addicted to. That's the reason why, guys, the poor stay poor and the rich get rich. This because it's the way we think. It's the things that we fall in love with. And sometimes, not sometimes, majority of the time, this what keeps all of us stuck in this poor type of mindset. See, poor is not a dollar amount, guys. Poor is not a dollar amount. A poor is how you think and how you think and how you move. That's what poor mindset is. That's what keeps us in the same spot, right? As some examples of what I'm talking about right now. Now, I knew about earning. I knew about spending less. I knew about investing in the stock market. I knew all these skills, right? But I was in love with the lifestyle. I was in love with going to the club. I was in love with smoking weed every damn day. I was in love with going to Jack in the Box every day and getting a jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. I loved it. Yes. All y'all that know that I'm a vegan now, but in my younger days, Stock Sniper wasn't a vegan. In my younger days, Stock Sniper couldn't stay away from Jack in the Box because I love the jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. Knowing that was turning me to an addict. Yes, guys. For the people in the back, if you go to Jack in the Box every day, if you go to McDonald's every day, if you go to the corner store every day, that is a form of addiction, right? I had to have my Jack in the Box. I had to have my jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos every single day. Every single day, I had to have my jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. Every day, guys, I had to have my jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. I had to have me a blunt every time I woke up. I had to have me a blunt. I had to smoke me a blunt every time I ate the jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos. I had to have a blunt every time I watched the football game. I had to have a blunt every time I take off in my car. All the bad habits that keep us poor. That's what Stock Sniper was into in my younger years. But guess what happened? Guess what happened? An aha moment came when I realized that, bro, you are getting nowhere. Guess what I did, guys? I calculated. This is a great tip for anybody. This right here would change my mind. Thank God I had great teachers as far as teaching me about finance, right? Because at this moment, God started to wake me up. God started to make me get more mature, and everything that I was taught, God woke me up. And guess what happened? Everything I had learned, all the investing books that my mama made me read, all these things kicked in. And guess what I did? I started calculating all the money that I was spending on weed, all the money that I was spending on jumbo jack with cheese and 2 tacos, all the money I was spending on blunts every day, all the money I was spending on Black and Miles every single day, all the money I was spending going to Carrington's and Jamaica, in the strip clubs all during the week. And guess what happened? I calculated that money up and I said, whoa, an aha moment hit. And guess what happened? Right then and there, I started changing the way that I thought. Right then and there, I started changing the way that I thought. Then, right after that, one of my good buddies, my OG, came home and said, man, why are you smoking them Black and Miles? You know it's cardboard in them, right? I said, man, stop lying. He said, open one up. I opened one up, and yes, I don't know if they still make them like that, but you know, this was a long time ago. This was back when I was in my 20s. Right after that, he said, I bet you can't run around the block. And when I got halfway around the block, guess what happened, guys? I couldn't make it. My chest started hurting. And then when I came back, my OG, he's like, he's probably about 70-something years old right now. He's about close to 70 right now. He's still up and kicking and doing his thing right now. I came back, he said, now look, what if you had to protect, my grandma was alive at this time. What if you had to protect your grandma? Well, he knew her name, so he called her name. What if you had to protect your grandma? What if you have to protect this, that? You wouldn't even be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get upset when he told me that, because like I tell y'all on this channel, I'm a very good listener. That's one of my best qualities. I'm a good listener, right? That's what I'm good at. I'm good at listening. You know what I'm saying? So I listened to my OG. And guess what he said? It made sense. I didn't have the mindset of, man, this dude just got out of prison. This dude is a violent offender. What can he tell me? I didn't look at it like that. I looked at it that what he told me, it absolutely made sense. And guess what? That day, that's when I really threw away them Black and Miles. And then when I put them numbers together, and then I figured out, and I say, man, this is how much money I'm spending every single day on this stuff that's basically killing me. But guess what, guys? Guess what? Most of us, guys, we don't calculate how much money we're spending every single day. Most people don't do it. In other words, I was my own financial advisor. I was my own financial advisor because I sat down in my early 20s, I sat down and I wrote down all the money I was spending and all the money that I was making. And then I realized why I was steady staying poor and I wasn't going nowhere. I finally realized it. And I said, bro, you got all this knowledge, all this information, all this stuff that your elders told you. Bro, you got to do better. You got to change your mind in the way you think. And when I wrote down all those numbers down and I figured out how much money I was spending, I said, this how much I'm spending a day. This how much I'm spending in a week. This how much I'm spending in a month. And yes, this how much I'm spending in a year. How long you been doing this, Stock Sniper? How long you been buying Jack in the Box every day? How long you been buying weed every day? How long you been buying Black and Miles every day? How long you been buying beer every day? How long you been going to the club every single day? How long you been going to the strip club all the time? Well, I wasn't going to the club every day. I was going maybe about 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and Sundays. Yeah, Monday was the big day. But I calculated how many years you been doing it. And I said 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. When I got to 22, guys, the number that I came up with for the year, I multiplied it by 5. And when I seen that number, see, a lot of us don't think about this, guys. This here is the most powerful live on YouTube. A lot of us don't think like this. How much, if you go buy cigarettes every day, if you go buy that Coca-Cola at that corner store that's making them other people rich every single day. This is Trump economics 101 every single day. Guess what? You're making somebody else rich. You're making somebody else rich. You're taking care of somebody else's family. You absolutely don't have to go to that corner store every single day. You don't have to buy cigarettes every single day. I didn't have to buy Black & Milds every single day. I didn't have to go to Jack in the Box every single day. I was a customer. That's how I looked at it. I was a customer. And then another thing came across my mind. I was in my early 20s, guys. The next thing that came across my mind was, bro, you addicted to all this different stuff. You worse than a dope fiend. I said it. That's what came in my mind. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, I'm spending all my money. That's what dope fiends do, right? They get their money and they spend it all. You know what I'm saying? They get their money and they spend it all. They keep themselves in that same circle of things as a consumer, as I talk about all the time on this channel. Do we want to be consumers? No. Do we want to be customers and consumers? Or do we want to be business owners? Do we want to be the ones that's collecting the dough? Or do we want to be the ones that's giving away the dough? When I calculated that number from 18 to 22, guess what happened? It changed my life. I said, hold up. I done spent all this money in 5 years on bullshit and bubblegum and tricking. I ain't gonna leave that out. You know what I'm saying? I spent all that money on this bullshit because I loved it. And right then and there, I say, hold up. I fell out of love with all that stuff. I stopped liking the double. I instantly fell out of love. You know, it's a thin line between love and hate. That was my wake-up call on the thin line between love and hate. Just like that, I hated Jack in the Box. Just like that, I hated Black & Milds. Just like that, I hated going to Carrington's. I hated going to Jamaica. I hated going to the Butt Naked, V-Live. I hated going to the strip club. I hated it. I hated going to the weed man and buying weed every damn morning. Just like that, I had a thin line between love and hate, which I call an aha moment. And just like that. See, that's the problem that majority of us have right now, guys. A lot of people have that. A lot of people don't calculate how much money they spending at the corner store. Every morning you gotta have a pack of cigarettes. Every morning you gotta have a cup of coffee. Every morning you gotta have these things. Things that are absolutely killing you, right? We don't think about that. All we think about is what we want, when we want, and how we want. You don't think, if you've been, like I had all those different habits, because yes, eating fast food is a habit. You're addicted to fast food if you do it every day. You know what I'm saying? If you go to the club and pop bottles with your homeboys, you think it look cool because you love it, but it's a habit. If you like going to the strip club and chucking ones on them girls like your homeboys do, you love it, but you gotta accept the fact that it's a habit. So guess how many habits I had? I had a weed habit, I had a fast food habit, I had a Black & Mild habit, I had a going to the club habit, I had a going to the strip club habit. I had 5 different habits, guys. And yes, I was one of them ones that went to the corner store too, every single day. That's 6 habits. How are you going to be able to get out of the cycle of poor when you're spending all the money? See, in America, guys, we don't have an income problem. That's not the problem we have. We have a spending problem. That's the problem we have in America. Not an income. Everybody makes money. But the point is we don't value the proceeds. We don't value it. We don't value the proceeds. We value what we want more than the proceeds. We got to have all these different things. Then what most people are doing these days, they are complaining. They are wondering why the poor, they are complaining about the poor being poor and the rich getting richer. Well, the rich getting richer because we are the ones making them rich. We are the ones making them rich, guys. We are. You know what I'm saying? But the thing we got to do, we got to learn how to value money. You got to value, when you work for your money, you got to value your work, and you got to value your money that you get. You gotta value it. And guess what, guys? Everybody says we love money. Everybody say they love money, but guess what? If you learn the game of the stock market, if you learn how to invest in the right companies, and guess what? It's not that hard. All you gotta do is invest in the companies that you know, like, and trust. It's easy. It's very simple. But then it's hard at the same time, like I said earlier. The hardest part is getting your mind in that state of mind. That's the hard part. So the best thing to do is change your mind. Change the company that you keep. Start being around people that's trying to change. If you understand what I'm talking about right now, and you write down all the stuff that you spend, if you go to if you order DoorDash all the time, 4-5 times a day, etc., etc. If you are in anything that I'm talking about right now, sit down tonight and be your own personal finance advisor and write down everything you spending your money on and the things you don't need. And once you calculate it up, bro, if it's 5 years, if it's 10 years, if it's 15 years, just look at that number. Look at it and think about it for a second. And look at what you can do with that money from that number. You can invest it. You can invest it, right? There's a lot of things you can do. So guess what? If you're starting from the bottom, I hear a lot of people are starting from the bottom. A lot of people are losing their homes. A lot of people are losing their apartments. This, that, and the third. Guess what? If you're in that position, you have to stay laser focused. And you have to focus on this blueprint that I'm talking about right now, which is earn, spend less, and make investments. Kick all this stuff. Kick ordering DoorDash and Uber. Instead of ordering DoorDash and Uber all the time, this is the big moment. Instead of ordering DoorDash and Uber all the time, you're on the wrong side of the money transfer. What is the money transfer, Stock Sniper? Okay, on the money transfer, it is a buyer and it's a seller, right? It's a buyer and it's a seller. And if you're buying DoorDash and Uber all the time, and you're doing the things that I used to do, guess what? You're on the wrong side of the money transfer, right? I was on the wrong side of the money transfer, guys. I was on the wrong side of the money transfer. And guess what? Right then and there, I changed the way I thought about things. I changed right then and there. I said, I don't want to be a customer no more. I don't want to be, because I felt like a junkie. Bro, once you be really real with yourself and start looking at all the money that you spending every single day, while I go to Taco Bell every day, I order DoorDash and Uber every day. I go to the corner store and buy cigarettes every single day. I go to the weed man every single day. Guess what? If you really look at it like I did, I came to the senses that, bro, you're a junkie. You are no different than a crackhead. That's exactly what I said. Because it's a lot of people that are not crackheads and drug addicts, but they are at the same time because they don't value their money. They value what they want, which is an addiction. They value what they want more than the things that they need. Yes. So a lot of people are starting over. Once I changed my mind in my early 20s, thank God that I did. Guess what? I went on this course of 25 summers. 25 summers. I stayed laser focused and worried about earning, spending less, and making proper investments. Right then and there, I started from zero, earning spending less, and making proper investments. That's not only invested in the stock market. That's not only invested in me and my mind. It's invested in my health. It's an investment also is hanging around the right people. I stopped hanging around my homeboys. I had to let them go. Y'all want to keep doing that? I don't want to do that no more, right? And of course, they don't understand. They didn't understand. And guess what? I kept going. And guess what's going on right now? A lot of them are still on MLK on that crate right now. 25 summers later, a lot of them are still on that crate, bro. A lot of them are on that, oh, the poor get poor while the rich get rich. Bro, you put your own self in that situation. The good news is you can change. That is a bad thing. That is a curse on yourself if you telling your subconscious mind that the poor is getting poor and the rich getting rich. That is a poor mindset. That is a curse on yourself. My the way I think is I want to eliminate what's keeping me poor, and I want to learn from the rich, cause success leaves clues. I want to do what the successful people do, and what they don't do, they don't spend money every single day. They don't. They don't go to Jack in the Box every single day. They don't smoke Black and Miles every single day. They don't go to the weed man every single day if they're not in the position. They focus on what they focus on, and that's the things that they love to do. See, a lot of us got to focus on what we love. Now, I love putting the work in. I love making proper investments. I love telling other people about my story and what's going on right now. I love putting people on the game, on what's really going on. That's what I love. I love building other streams of income. Yes, that's what I love to do. I'm on the other side of the money transfer. See, all it is a mind shift, guys. And I don't care if you 60. I don't care if you 70. I don't care how old you are. You are not too late to come to the right side of the money transfer. It's not hard. It is, but it ain't. It's simple, but at the same time, you have to be disciplined. And a lot of us don't have the discipline. You got to have the discipline to realize and to think and to be like, look, man, what this dude is talking about is right. I'm finna start changing right now. Maybe you ain't, you might, most people don't drop it at the drop of a dime like I did, right? Some people, it's embedded in them through generations, right? But the worst thing is when it's not embedded in you through generations. Like me, I wasn't embedded in that stuff because my parents tried to teach me the right way. I just was hard-headed and wet behind here and thought I knew everything. I had to grow up. So yeah, I'm out here walking, guys, putting the work in. And as far as that goes, a lot of people hit me up about that. Man, just get out and start walking. Just open up your door and just start walking. Sometimes you can just start thinking about what you need to do. Start thinking about earning, spending less, and making proper investments. Start thinking about your kids and grandkids. If you ain't got no kids, but you probably plan on having them, start thinking about your downline. Start thinking about what you want your what you want your kids and grandkids to think about you when you're no longer here. That's what I think about. I think about what my kids and my grandkids gonna think about me when I'm gone, because life is short, guys. Life is short, but eternal life is what your kids and grandkids and your great-grandkids think about you, and how whatever you put down and teach them and to the other people in your family and your friends and the people that you love, what they think about you when you're no longer here. See, I want to leave a long-lasting footprint, guys. That's what I want to do. I want to live a long-lasting blueprint, footprint, like how my great-grandfather did for us, right? I mean, we still talk about him, and we still, he's still alive right now. He's still living through us, through me, through my kids, through my grandkids. They're still living, and guess what? My grandkids are going to be talking about him to, guess who? His kids. That's how it goes. That's That's what I want. I want people to talk about me like people talk about my grandpa, like people talk about my grandma, you know, inside of the family. I don't care what nobody think outside. Inside of the family is what matters. A digital blueprint, the blueprint that I'm talking about right now, was left down through generations and generations. But a lot of people didn't have that. A lot of people didn't have that. So you can start right now. It all starts with an earn. It all starts with loving what you do. It starts with spending less. It starts with making proper investments. It starts with investing in your kids. It starts with investing in your grandkids. It starts with investing in yourself. And yes, it's a bumpy road. It's ups and downs. That's life, like the stock market. It's ups and downs. Just like a hamburger stand. It's ups and it's downs, you know? But long as you stay focused, long as you stay focused and you stay in your own lane and you mind your own business, guess what? It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. Trust me, listen to the OG. It's gonna work out. And it's not that difficult. All it takes is you gotta concentrate. Once you make your mind up and have you 3 or 4 things, take your 5,000 hours. Your 5,000 hours, which is about 6 months, which is the title of this live. Transfer your life in 6 months. It can be done in 6 months. In 2025, with the development of the internet, I say 6 months because in 6 months, it gives you time. It's not too long, it's not too short, right? But you gotta start with spending less. You might have to move up out of living like the Joneses. It starts with spending less money as possible. Once you spend as less money as possible, guys, once you spend as less money as possible, it does 2 things. Number one, when you spend less money as possible, number one, it keeps you clear. It keeps your mind clear, and you can focus on the things that you need to be focusing on, right? Because you have less overhead. The less overhead you have, the more you can keep on the back end. And if you have 0 overhead, you really got it made. But the thing is about that, it depends on you have a goal when you have 0 overhead, right? Because a lot of people, mine ain't really totally right. They have the mindset of spending less, but they spend less on the things they really need and spend the excess on what they want. Let me say it again. A lot of people talk about cutting off their overhead, but a lot of people are not fully developed, right? So what they do is they spend less on what they need and spend more on what they want. That's what happens. That's basically spinning your wheels. When you're spending less on what you need and more on what you want, you're still inside the process, right? If you're spending less on what you want and concentrating on what you really want, which is to get up out of this poor mindset that I'm talking about, you can't be tricked by the habits of what you need. You can't be tricked by that, right? Because 6 months is a very long time. If you are really focusing on earning, spending less, and making investments, if you are really focused on that and putting the work in and staying in your own lane and minding your own business, this 6 months will transfer your life in 6 months. In 6 months. You might have to go back on your mama's couch or on your daddy's couch, on your parents' couch, or on your brother's couch. But guess what? You have to be for real about what you're doing. You have to be laser focused on what you're doing. See, guys, that's all we lack is the laser focus on the lower level. If you are laser focused, that's just like in football. If you get the ball at the 1-yard line, guess what? You have to be laser focused to go 99 yards for a touchdown. Let me say that again. If you on a 1-yard line in football, you got to take it one down at a time. One down at a time. Don't focus on nothing but getting over that 99 yards to that end zone. And if you're not laser focused, guess what? You're subject to get a safety. You're subject to throw an interception, running back for a touchdown. You're subject to not even get it up to your own 30-yard line because you ain't laser focused. But if you are laser focused, you take it one down at a time. One down at a time. Love the process of putting the work in. Loving the process of taking it 99 yards. When I used to be a quarterback in high school, guess what? I loved when we were when our back was against our own end zone. I used to love it, guys. I used to love it. Okay, let's go. Let's put the work in. We know what we got to do to get down there. It's 1st and 10 at our own 1-yard line. It's 7-7, and we got to score a touchdown to win state championship. Guess what? Or to win the district championship. Guess what? Guess what? We're going to try to get it done. As a unit, we're not worrying about nothing else but what's going on that football field. I'm not worried about what Melissa is doing in the stands. I'm not worried about what Crystal is doing over there being the cheerleader. I'm not worried about what Beverly doing. She didn't come to my football game. I'm not worried about what Beverly doing. I'm worried about what me and my teammates are doing. Right here, we're trying to go 99 yards to win the state championship and win district to go to the next level in the playoffs. That's what I'm worried about. Same thing. Same scenario, guys. Same scenario. And that's how you transfer your life in 6 months. It shouldn't even take that long. But I just said 6 months. In 2025, it should take number 90 days. That's it. If you're really focusing on what you're supposed to be focusing on, it shouldn't take but 90 days. With the development of the stock market, where you can trade on your phone, where you can buy your favorite companies on your phone, guess what? It's easy as 1, 2, 3, but you gotta want to put the work in. You gotta quit worrying about the bullshit and the bubble gum, and you gotta worry about what you got going on, which is in your own lane and in your own business, and you gotta love the game. See, a lot of people ain't understanding. You say you love money. We say we love money, but guess what? The stock market, man, once you learn the stock market, that money is free, bro. Free money. Think about that for a second. There's trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars being made on the stock market every day. Every day. More than a trillion. Every single day. Every single day. Think about that for a second. Free money. Every single day. Every single day. All you have to do is love it and learn it. And it's easier these days, why, Stock Sniper? Because it's in your phone. It's in your phone. It's in your phone. Think about it for a second. Go back and watch this live again. Think about it for a second. Think about it. Think about it. Trillions and trillions and trillions. In the morning, the stock market is open again. Wall Street, which is my block, is open again in the morning. And guess what's going to happen? People are going to trade. People are going to trade. People are going to start investing in the companies they know, like, and trust. Early in the morning. By 11 o'clock, we're done. Trillions and trillions of dollars are being transferred right then and there. And guess what? You don't have to be a billionaire to participate in it, guys. You don't have to be that. We all heard what Al Sharpton said the other day, guys. The March on Wall Street, which was the most ridiculous thing I've seen in my whole entire life. Instead of telling us to participate in it, he's telling us about a 9 to 5. Guys, a 9 to 5 and the stock market goes together. A 9 to 5 and the stock market, it goes together. There's no billionaire without consumers. It's the money transfer that I've been talking about all week. It coexists, works together. So how can you be hating a billionaire and don't like the billionaires, but you're the one making them rich? You love the product, but you hate the fact that they're billionaires. Guys, they put the work in. Earn, spend less, and invest. finding something they love to do and mastering it. And guess one thing, what I've learned from the billionaires that I have been blessed to talk to, they love sharing their stories. They will talk to you. They will talk to you and tell you what's going on. But at the same time, you have to have the ability to be able to communicate with them and let them know they're not the type of people that ain't gonna tell you nothing, right? They're not the ones, and they're gonna tell you the same thing that I'm saying right now. Earn, find something you love to do. Spend less. Focus on investing. Invest in yourself. Invest in your family. Invest in your products and services. Start you some type of business on the side. I don't care what it is. Small business. You love eating DoorDash? Flip the script. Stop being the one to give DoorDash money and start being the one that collect the money. Start driving for DoorDash. But at that point, you are in business for yourself. Why, Stock Sniper? Because you are not a DoorDash driver. You are a delivery driver that's working for yourself. You are in business for yourself. You are in business for yourself. Take the money that, if you got a 9-to-5 and you, well, Stock Sniper, I can't afford, start your delivery business and work it 2 or 3 hours out of the day and use that and put it in a brokerage account and start investing in some of these companies that you know, like, and trust, and start being a part of this money transfer that I've been talking about since the end of 2024. I've been talking about this money transfer since the end of 2024, guys. And now I got more people watching me. I'm really getting the word out. So money transfer happening right now. Stop worrying about the poor getting poor and the rich getting rich. Stop it. We got to stop that, guys. Start worrying about the process, which is earn, spend less, and invest. Kick all the habits. Stop going to McDonald's. Stop going to Jack in the Box. Stop going to the corner store every weekend. Start learning from those guys that own those stores. Start learning from them. They're not spending no money, guys. They want our money. That's how it works. It's called capitalism. And if you love money, you're a capitalist. I hear so many times people are complaining about capitalism. But if you could buy something for $1, I've asked a lot of people this. The main people that say they don't like capitalism, I've asked a lot of people in real life. Well, let me ask you a question. If you could buy something for $1 and sell it for 100 to 30 people, would you do it? Everybody said yes. Nobody said no. If you had people willing to give you $100 for these 30 things that you have, and you only paid $1 for it, would you sell it to them for 100? Yes. Guess what? If you think like that, if your answer is yes in the chat, congratulations. You're a capitalist. You're a capitalist. Which means that you're trying to better you and your family. If you ain't got nothing, but you got 30 things, and people are trying to give you $100 for each one of them, and you only paid $30 for it, and they trying to give you $100 for each one, you're gonna sell it. You're gonna get the dough. Come on, we gotta start thinking. We gotta start thinking. Once I start loving the things that I was supposed to be, that they was trying to teach me, guess what happened? It changed my mind. Now, I don't smoke no Black and Milds. I don't smoke no weed at all. I don't go to Jack in the Box at all. I'm a vegan. Matter of fact, I don't even eat at restaurants anymore. When you see me, I took it back to how I was raised. When I was coming up, we didn't go to Jack in the Box. My parents and my grandparents didn't take us to Jack in the Box every single day. I didn't get no Happy Meals. Whenever we went to Jack in the Box or McDonald's, something good was happening. Something good was happening. I never got no Jordans, and I hated it. I never got no Jordans. All my homeboys, was getting Jordans and wearing Jabos, all this, that, and the third. For my birthday, they were buying me stocks and exercise equipment. Just so happened that they was giving me the blueprint, but I wasn't in love with the blueprint. I wasn't in love with it, guys. I wasn't in love with it. And guess what? Once I grew up, I already told y'all the story about that. Once I grew up, everything that was taught to me came back. That's how I was able to recover so fast. That's how I was able to recover so fast. See, when I was recovering in my 20s, it wasn't no internet. It wasn't all this information out there. It wasn't none of that. So I had to do what was taught and trust that process, and put the work in, which is earn, spend less, and make proper investments. That's what I had to do, which is simple. All you got to do is transform your mind from being a customer to the other side. See, the economy, guys, you hear people talk about the economy all the time. The economy is us. We are the economy. They talking about tariffs. Guess what? If you are earning, spending less, making proper investments, got you a small business on the side, and you're staying focused on what I've been talking about this whole live, guess what? That is a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against inflation. And guess what? Spend less. Stop spending on the things. Only get the things that you need right now. Right now is the time to only buy the things that you need. That's what it is. Only buy the things that you need. Focus on some type of small business. Make you proper investments. And be on the other side of the money transfer. It's a money transfer happening right now, guys. That's how it works. Take it from the OG. That's how it works, guys. When all this hooping and hollering, hooping, go on, guess what? The money transfer is happening. I just showed y'all the money transfer on Friday. I'm gonna show y'all another example of a money transfer in the morning. But the thing is, I'm showing these things. But I want everybody to start thinking about it and start practicing. Like I was talking about in the beginning of this live, of trying to go from running miles every day or walking like I'm doing right now. I just walked out of my house and just started walking. And guess what? We're almost on an hour. And I'm doing what I love to do. We just connect with people on the internet, and spread the knowledge that I've learned over 52 years. And guess what? This is old knowledge. Why? Because this was passed down from my great-grandfather and my grandfather. This stuff come from the 1900s, guys. Straight up. So that would, if y'all seen that live I did the other day, I think that was Saturday night, with Al Sharpton, talking a bunch of bullshit. I said it. Those things that he was saying, it's a bunch of bullshit. Work. No talk about investing. None. I don't understand why they do that. Bidenomics. It's about working. But don't understand that the working and the investing goes together. They never talk about investing, guys. That's why I had to leave. I had to get away from them because they're not talking about investing. Now Al Sharpton is an older guy, but he's not talking about investing. And that just don't calculate with me in my head. Why? Because my grandfather had stocks. My great-grandfather had investments. They're not talking about investing. They're not telling us about the best part of this money transfer, which is the investing part. They're not talking about that. All they're talking about is a 9 to 5. All they're talking about is working. They're not talking about spending less, and they're not talking about investing. They're talking about working and complaining. That's all they're doing, guys. It's complaining. And that's crazy work. All they're talking about is complaining. And that's all you know, and Reverend Al Sharpton, he's a powerful guy. But he's missing other components. He's teaching us, and he's putting in our subconscious mind about complaining, being a complainer, being a complainer, not working, earning, spending less, working hard, getting up and putting the work in, but not only putting the work in, but investing. These guys are doing a protest on Wall Street, guys. A protest on Wall Street. The people that actually hire and fire a lot of people. It's sad. It's sad. So that's why we got to focus on what's important. When you look at that episode, does that make sense? What he's saying? It don't make no sense. He's leaving the main part out. Yes, we're supposed to get up and go to work every single day. I don't want to work hard every single day till I'm 63 years old, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to work on a job that I absolutely don't like. I don't want to do that. I don't want that for my kids. I don't want that for my grandkids. My mom and daddy didn't want that for me. My grandpa and grandma didn't want that for us. My great-grandpa and grandma didn't want that for us either. It absolutely makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. It don't. So we got to think about some things. It's not about, don't think about 5,000 hours. Think about the 5 things that you got to do. That's it. Think about, keep it laser, super easy. My grandfather had a 3rd grade education, but all he knew was about earning, spending less, investing, and teaching his kids and grandkids. It's up to us if we was going to keep it going. I was hard-headed in the beginning, which is fine, because you're young, and sometimes it take time. It take time to shine. That's why they ass behind. That's another thing. Don't look on the outside, guys. Never, in 2025, I know a lot of people have small, I ain't gonna say small mind. A lot of people have short attention spans, right? A lot of people have short attention spans. Guess what? Open up your mind. Start thinking outside of the track. Stop looking at what you see in front of you. Stop that. Start thinking on what's going on the back end, because the back end is what's more important. It's chess, not checkers. When I'm playing chess, when you're playing chess, you're not thinking about just moving your pawn, right? You're not thinking about just moving your pawn. If you think about that one simple move, you could possibly put yourself in checkmate. No, you're thinking about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 moves ahead. Not just your moves, but your opponent moves too. And you're trying to learn that process fast, not slow. You're trying to think, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, he can do this, I can do that, he can do this, he can do that real quick. And then make your proper move. But if you're just thinking about one simple thing that's right in front of you, checkmate, you out of there, you lost. So don't think about, we have to stop thinking about what's on the outside. We got to stop thinking about that. We got to stop thinking about, well, I see my partner over there, oh man, that dude got a Lambo. That dude got piece and chain on. This dude got all the girls. That's thinking outside. You don't know what's going on in the inside, in the back door. And trust me, majority of those times, when you see people that's like that, guess what? They're struggling on the back end. Because guess what? You have to keep going. You have to keep going to live that certain lifestyle. You got to keep going to live up to a lifestyle and the image. You got to keep going. So don't focus on the outside. You watching your favorite YouTuber, right? And you see, okay, man, this YouTube channel is growing. I see these numbers and that numbers. Don't focus on the outside. Focus on what's going on the back end, because you never know what's going on the back end. And don't focus on what somebody else is doing. Stay in your own lane and mind your own business. And then focus on what you're doing. Like right now, the message, you know, just start. Start from zero. Just walk out of your house and just start walking. Just start walking. And now guess what? I'm over an hour on this walk. That's how easy it is, guys, to get started. You know, but if you gotta program your mind to do this. You gotta program your mind every single day. You can't be excited. I can't be excited because I walked for 1 hour today. I gotta do it tomorrow. I gotta do it the next day. I gotta do it the next day. I gotta do it the next day. I gotta love to do it. Because then once you love to do it, it becomes a lifestyle, right? What I've found out in my 52 years, once you love something, it's not a job. It's part of your lifestyle. It's what you love to do. Like I like watching football. I like my University of Texas Longhorns. I like that. So it's a process of what you love. It's a process of what you love. You got to find what you love to do, and you got to master it to the best of your ability. Then it's not work anymore, guys. Once you love to do what you do, if you love being a nurse, if you love being an engineer, if you love these things, that means that guess what's going to happen? When you wake up in the morning, you're going to be excited to go to your job. Why? Because you love it. You love the job. It's not work. If you love doing something, it's not work. LeBron James loves basketball. He does not look at basketball as work. He just so happened to get paid for something that he loved to do, which is a great thing. That's the best thing in the world, guys, is to turn what you love into an income. That's living life. That's freedom. Freedom is a lot of things. But freedom to everybody is different. But freedom to me is having a career that I love to do, doing something that I love to do, and I'm also getting paid to do what I love to do. Then every single morning, you're excited. I hear so many people say, why has Donald Trump got all this energy? Donald Trump is everywhere. He's everywhere. He was with this, that, because he loved what he do. Every one of those guys, if you get a chance to talk to them, they all tell you the same thing what I'm saying right now. They love what they do. And guess what? They got a team around them that understands that. If you're trying to be successful in life, that's another thing that'll keep us poor, is the people who you surround yourself with. If you have goals, man, everybody has to be on the same course. Everybody has to be on the same page, guys, or you got to leave some people behind. That's how it works. Everybody has to be on the same course. Everybody has to be on the same page. If you love being a welder, everybody else has to love it too. Everybody else has to love welding. Why? Because that causes friction and drama. And one thing about drama, in a circle, nobody wins, guys. Actually, it hurts you. Actually, it hurts you. Because then what you love becomes a problem, because who is in your circle, it make you they mess up your groove. They make you upset. They throw off your energy because they don't love what you're doing. They want you to do something else, but they don't love what you do. That's just how it goes. That's exactly how it goes, guys. Just like that. I've been on this live for over an hour. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. What's up to Don? I see y'all in here. I ain't have too much time to really answer the comments, because what we seen, if you was on the live, I think that was Saturday night. If you was on that live, what Al Sharpton said, that's the reason on this live right here. That's the reason. That's the reason. This live right here and what I said, if you listen to it and really pay attention and put you a plan together, you could transform your life in 6 months. With that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. Everybody that's been subscribing to the channel, I love and I appreciate you. I love y'all and I love and I appreciate y'all. 704 Wall Street is my block. 704 Wall Street is my block. Earn, spend less, and make proper investments. With that being said, this is the one and only Stock Sniper. I love and I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great Labor Day. If you off, enjoy your off day. I'll be back on front of the charts in the morning, 8:30 a.m. You already know what to do. Appreciate y'all for joining me. But remember, we get on the right side of this money transfer. And it starts from zero. It starts from the bottom. Get on the other side of the money transfer, guys. It's very, very important. It's two sides of the money transfer. It's the consumer, the one who's spending the dough, and it's the one collecting the dough. What side you want to be on? In simple terms, if you're spending a lot of money on DoorDash, if you're spending a lot of money on Uber Eats, you are on the consumer side. The business side is the driver, the one collecting the dough. Now, what he do with his proceeds, that's his business. But if he's doing the proper thing and running the delivery business, because don't get it twisted, DoorDash and Uber Eats and all these other businesses that you're partnering up with, those are small businesses. That's exactly what they are, guys. Those are small businesses. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. 704 Wall Street is my block. 704 Wall Street is my block. Earn, spend less, and invest. And with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out.